Most games try to look stylish. This one bleeds style from every frame. Ghost of Yōtei isn't just another samurai game riding the coattails of Ghost of Tsushima. It's a full-on ink-drenched evolution. A game that turns every swing of the blade into a brushstroke, and every moment into a painting you'll want to frame. It's bold, it's haunting, and it's already shaping up to be one of the most visually daring titles of the year. Hey, it's Chris from HiddenPatch, and today we're slicing into Ghost of Yōtei not to review it, but to break down why this thing might just be the most stylish samurai game ever made. From its brush-painted duels to its folklore-soaked setting, we're about to explore every corner of its cinematic brilliance. Let's start with the visuals that hit you like a sword made of ink and moonlight. Ghost of Yōtei doesn't chase realism. It carves its own aesthetic path like a katana through parchment. The entire visual style is soaked in an ink brush aesthetic, cel-shaded, painterly, and dripping with personality. Imagine if Ghost of Tsushima, Okami, and a Ghibli fever dream got fused into one haunting vision. That's the vibe. Every frame looks like it was lifted from a scroll. Scenes are layered with deep purples, muted reds, and ink-black shadows that swirl with movement. Not just background noise, but brushstrokes reacting to the world. The camera doesn't just follow you, it paints your journey. Wide-angle shots during travel, over-the-shoulder intimacy in duels, and sudden cinematic zooms during finishers make every moment feel directed. What's wild is how much restraint the game shows. The UI, minimal. Health bars, menus, even dialogue prompts feel like part of a scroll rather than a digital overlay. Ink splashes signal damage. Menus unfurl like parchment. And there's this subtle use of environmental visual cues. Lanterns flickering before boss fights, spirits leaving brush trails when they vanish, petals drifting based on tension in the scene. Style isn't just a coat of paint here. It's the language of the game. You don't just play Ghost of Yōtei, you experience it like a moving painting, one frame at a time. Now that we've soaked in the art, let's step into the canvas itself, the world of Yōtei. This isn't your standard open world map filled with side quest markers and fetch errands. Ghost of Yōtei builds a setting that feels sacred. The island, loosely inspired by Hokkaido, pulses with folklore and quiet dread. It's not just a place you explore, it's a spirit you unravel. Each region carries its own visual and emotional rhythm. Snow-drenched forests hide silent duels and lost shrines. Foggy mountain paths whisper forgotten names through the wind. Villages crumble beneath spiritual rot, their architecture bent by grief more than time. The mythological elements don't overpower, they linger like smoke from an ancient fire. Exploration here isn't checklist-based. There's no GPS telling you where to go. Instead, you follow wind trails, flickers of light, and the stories etched into your surroundings. A fox will lead you to a prayer site. A song drifting on the wind might hint at a spirit's past. Every tree, stone, and shadow feels placed with purpose, and it's that ambient storytelling that really hits. You'll come across battlefield memorials where the snow is stained with memory, or stumble upon an old shrine wrapped in prayer papers, still humming with tension. This isn't just level design, it's environmental poetry. Ghost of Yōtei makes you feel like you're trespassing through a legend. One wrong move and the island might remember your name too. Let's talk about the soul behind the sword, the story and the characters that carry it. Ghost of Yōtei doesn't go the typical cinematic route with hour-long cutscenes and dramatic voiceover dumps. It's quieter than that, smarter. It lets the silence speak. The protagonist, whose past is fragmented and haunted, isn't just chasing revenge. He's chasing memory, identity, maybe even redemption. And that ambiguity, that's where the magic happens. The story unfolds more like a legend being remembered than a plot being told. You'll uncover moments through flashbacks, fragments, whispers from spirits, and the scars left behind in the world. A broken mask left at a shrine, a child's drawing found in an abandoned home, a familiar melody played by someone who shouldn't know it. It's less what happens next and more what already happened and why does it still hurt. And it's not just your story either. The island is filled with characters that carry their own burdens. Ronin with cursed blades, monks who've lost their faith, villagers who still leave offerings for the dead. Some of them lie to you. Some of them can't even face their own truths. but all of them reflect the themes that Ghost of Yōtei holds close: legacy, grief, and the price of remembering. It's a game where you don't always get closure, and that's the point. Like the ink on an old scroll, the story blurs at the edges. But what's there? It sticks with you.
Quick checkpoint. If you've made it this far, you're clearly not here for just swordplay and particle effects. You're here because something about Ghost of Yōtei just hits different. So here's your reward. Secret achievement unlocked. Ink-stained legend. It's the mark of those who see the art behind the action. Drop ink-stained legend in the comments so we know you're one of us. And while you're here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. HiddenPatch is all about peeling back the layers of games that deserve way more love. And trust me, we've got a lot more coming. Now let's get back into it. Let's talk about the blade work, because if there's one thing Ghost of Yōtei refuses to compromise on, it's the feel of every single clash, parry, and fatal strike. Combat in this game doesn't just look good, it's choreographed like a samurai opera. Duels are paced like tense conversations, with each swing carrying weight, intent, and danger. You don't just mash buttons, you wait, you read, you react. It's a system that rewards patience, timing, and flair. And when you land a perfect combo, the game rewards you with cinematic flair so sharp, it might slice your screen in half. Visually, it's a spectacle. Your character glides and pivots with a kind of controlled grace, every slash leaving behind inky after images or ghostly trails that make each fight feel painted in real time. Perfect parries triggers short, slow-motion flashes, letting you drink in the drama. A blade sliding past your cheekbone, a finishing move that spins the camera as blood falls like sakura petals. Every animation feels handcrafted, every duel uniquely staged. But beneath the beauty is a surprisingly deep system. You've got different stances for handling armored enemies, fast duelists, or spectral foes. Ghost techniques allow you to unleash short bursts of supernatural energy, not magic, but tricks that feel like forgotten arts. Think feints that leave behind illusions, or parries that teleport you behind your enemy for one clean slash. Traversal even plays into combat. You can wall run into an ambush, leap from torii gates into a group finisher, or chain movement abilities directly into your attacks. It's fluid, it's tight, and above all, it never feels like a gimmick. Whether you're brawling in tight forest paths or dueling on moonlit rooftops, Ghost of Yōtei makes every encounter feel like it matters. This is where the game stops being just stylish and starts becoming truly elite. Because one of Ghost of Yōtei's most powerful weapons isn't a weapon at all, it's the sound. The moment you step into this world, it hums with energy. The wind whistles through bamboo forests. Distant bells echo from forgotten temples, and every footstep feels like it matters. It's not just ambience, it's storytelling. The soundtrack is this haunting blend of traditional Japanese instruments with a modern cinematic edge. You'll hear slow, deliberate shamisen melodies drifting through the air, backed by deep taiko drums that only kick in when your heart's already racing. Shakuhachi flutes slice through the tension like a whisper from the past, sometimes calming, sometimes unsettling, but what really sets it apart is how the audio reacts to you. During fights, the music doesn't just swell, it sharpens. Miss a parry, you'll hear a jarring pluck or a sudden drop in tempo. Land a perfect strike, the score explodes with energy, making every win feel earned, every mistake feel devastating. It's reactive, it's responsive, and it makes combat feel like a duet between you and the game. And then there's the silence. Ghost of Yōtei uses quiet like a scalpel. You'll walk into an abandoned village and hear nothing, just wind, creaking wood, a faint breath that might not even be yours. It's unsettling in the best way, the kind of quiet that makes you lean in closer, waiting for the tension to snap. Even the voice acting hits different. Characters don't yell or over-explain. They speak in poetry and riddles and whispers that hang in the air. It's not just sound design, it's sound direction. And it wraps the entire game in this thick layer of emotional atmosphere that you feel long after the console's turned off. Now let's talk about the moments that hit like thunderclaps. The boss fights and set pieces. Ghost of Yōtei doesn't throw 100 enemies at you and call it a challenge. No, it's more deliberate than that. Every major fight feels handcrafted.
like it's been waiting centuries for you to show up. These aren't just damaged sponge enemies with big health bars. They're events. Some are cursed warriors, warped by rage and regret. Others are haunting reflections of your past. And some, they don't even feel like enemies. They feel like chapters of your own story that you have to fight through. Visually, they're stunning. One duel takes place under a crimson eclipse, where each slash lights up the darkness like a firework. Another has you battling through a collapsing shrine, the floor crumbling beneath you as spectral flames chase your every move. The game turns boss fights into cinematic moments, not by cutting to cutscenes, but by weaving those scenes into the gameplay itself. And here's where it gets wild. Some of these fights don't play by the rules. One boss constantly shifts between real and illusion. Another mimics your own fighting style, turning the match into a deadly mirror dance. There's even a rumored duel with a ghost ancestor that forces you to fight without your sword, relying entirely on memory and timing. These aren't just battles, they're trials. Set pieces in Ghost of Yōtei go just as hard. Think high-speed chases across burning bridges. Think shrine puzzles collapsing into supernatural ambushes. Think slow, dramatic walks into cursed arenas where the soundtrack drops, and all you hear is your own heartbeat. The pacing between combat, exploration, and spectacle is razor-sharp. Every major beat lands exactly where it should. By the time you finish one of these boss fights, you don't feel triumphant. You feel changed, like the game just carved another piece off your soul. And somehow, you're stronger for it. Let's zoom out for a second. Because Ghost of Yōtei isn't just trying to be another stylish samurai slasher. It's not chasing Ghost of Tsushima or mimicking Sekiro. What makes this game hit different is how fearlessly it blends tone, emotion, and artistry into something that feels wholly its own. And one of the wildest surprises? Something called Wanderable Mode. It's a dedicated lo-fi exploration mode. No combat, no quests, just you, the world, and a perfectly chill soundtrack. Picture this, wandering through a snowy forest while ambient lo-fi tracks mix with rustling wind and distant fox calls. No enemies, no pressure, just pure meditative immersion. It's the kind of feature you'd expect in a walking sim, not a samurai revenge tale. But that's exactly the point. Ghost of Yōtei isn't afraid to shift gears emotionally. One minute, you're locked in a tense duel where every parry feels life or death, and the next, you're sitting at a shrine in silence, breathing in grief, memory, and stillness. The lo-fi beats don't break the vibe, they enhance it. They give the game a rhythm that's both cinematic and deeply human. This isn't just a game that looks good or plays well. It's a game that feels. Every frame, every sound, every decision. And that's what makes it special. Ghost of Yōtei doesn't just want to be played. It wants to be remembered. Ghost of Yōtei isn't just stylish for the sake of style. It's a spiritual experience, a haunting, beautiful samurai tale carved in ink and blood, blending everything we love about cinematic storytelling, tight combat, and world building that sticks with you long after the credits roll. If you made it this far, you already know this game hits different. So let's mark the moment. Secret achievement unlocked. Final slash. Drop that phrase in the comments if you're one of the few who made it to the final blow. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you want more deep dives, brutally honest breakdowns, and hidden gems from across the gaming world. This has been Chris from HiddenPatch. See you in the next one.